Today, we're installing this bull bar on our Cayenne Turbo S.
Welcome to Husman Bros.
I'm Justin.
And I am Aaron.
And before we go too much further, we're gonna put this down because it's heavy. Now, before we go too much further, be sure to subscribe. We appreciate our subscribers and everyone who watches. So today is going to be this bull bar install. This is the EUROWISE Bull Bar kit. As you see, there are mounting points on it for our lights. So first we've got to get it onto the truck. Should be a fun day doing this thing.
It looks like it's going to be a lot easier than the suspension work that we just wrapped up.
You know, probably. It'll probably be a lot less awkward in weird positions, holding up giant
less maneuvering and pushing.
Although, you know who's going to tell us that?
The Cayenne Whisperer.
Rob will be here shortly and we'll get started. In the meantime, let's get going on this thing. Okay, Rob, today we're doing the bull bar, and I know that you've done a lot of prep work to get us here.
Yeah.
Things that our folks might not want to watch you have to do for a couple hours. So you're holding the fender liner, I guess.
Right.
So these have to come out for this job.
Best thing to do is just take these out.
So how hard is it to get these out?
Easy to get out. It's about 15 small. It's a 20 torque picked screw, and then there's one larger 25 torque picked screw, and it's up under the car, kind of on the back side of the fender. So you just need to look up under there. Then after that, literally it pops out. They are a little bit more challenging because as you can see, they're kind of big and unwieldy and wiggly. So both of them come out.
Okay.
Because it exposes a lot of the things that we need to work on. I'm going to show you then how to take out the bumper, right? So there's a few screws you have to take out. There are some screws. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 here that have to come out.
Okay.
There are also some plugs. They're rubber plugs. This one was missing them.
Okay.
They have to be picked. Usually a pick will start to get them out, and then usually an automotive tool with the little fingers can get them out the rest of the way. You do have to take out the lights on a V8 or on the 6-cylinder. You do not. You basically can reach your hand up, and I'm going to show you what you have to reach up and do, but you can basically do that with the lights in. On the turbo, there's a lot of extra plumbing with the intercooler and all the pipes that go around it. So you got to take out the lights. Also, there's 4 screws on the bottom. They're pretty visible. I don't think we need to really show them. And then there's a couple of screws underneath. There's one up in the fender that's up under here.
Okay.
And then there's another one just opposite it. It helps to take these lights out.
Okay.
You don't have to, but it just helps to take them out because it gives you a little bit more room to work.
Okay.
There's one screw that's really easy. There's another one you have to peer up into the top and kind of look forward. You need a little bit of an extension to get to that one.
Okay,
But
very good.
once again, that happens, pops out. Lights themselves have a small light bulb here.
Okay.
You can turn, twist, pop.
It just pops out.
It's a solid yank, but yes, it pops out.
Okay, very good. So that's all the pre-work you've done. Our next job is to get this bumper off.
That's right. Clip right here. This clip actually is really holding the bumper in. This particular clip needs to be pressed down. This is the clip I was talking about that you can get to with either the V8 or the 6.
Okay.
On the turbo, there's really all this stuff in here really precludes you from reaching your finger up and getting it. But essentially, you just basically press down on it and just pull it out.
Okay.
That's loose. The whole bumper's now actually ready to slide off.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
So should we do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we've been given our instructions. Time to get to work.
Yeah, let's get these screws out. I'll start on this side, you start on that side, then we can start doing the clips.
You got tools?
Yeah, here you go.
What the hell is this?
Screwdriver.
Why is it so small?
Hey, it's not the size, it's how you use it, all right?
I guess that's a backhanded compliment, so I'll get at it.
Okay, so I'm unscrewing this end screw here, and this is the piece that will help us release all the rest of these clips throughout this bumper, because we want to separate the top half of the bumper from the bottom half of the bumper. There we go, and now we can start working on all these clips down through here. There's one every about 6 inches that we've got to take out in order to separate this bumper.
I'm gonna let you do that. Start doing that while I clean some of the trash out of what's behind the bumper. Come with me and check this out. So look at all the trash that's in here. I'm gonna vacuum all this out, so we've got to make some changes in here, but look how full this is. You know, it's hard to get in here, but when you're cleaning your car, you're parking your car outside, be aware this is some of the stuff that happens when you park a car outside. It's just packed full. This may as well be a squirrel's nest. This isn't the only place we found some of this stuff.
All right, so you can see all these little tabs. I've popped a couple of them out already, but I'm just gonna keep working my way down the bumper very carefully, popping these free. And what you wanna do is you wanna give them some pressure on them and just push down on them so they slide out, so it unlocks it, and then we just slowly work our way down the bumper. You want to be careful not to break these. This is an expensive piece to have to replace. With age, these get really brittle. All right, I found the worst one. This is the worst one. It's a lot harder to get out than the rest of these clips, but I got it out on that side with just the right amount of prying and pushing, so I'm just gonna keep trying that. Voila! Okay, when it's all done, this is what it should look like. This is what we were going for. It was nerve-wracking, it was a little scary. I heard some cracks that I thought I had done some damage, but no permanent damage done. That was just the bumper coming apart from some of the clips that are in here and the plastic squeaking together. So all in all, it came apart nicely, and we'll just get it cleaned up a little bit so we can get it back together.
One of my least favorite things to do is to use the most caveman of tools on a very expensive car, but it's what you're gonna need. This is just pressure fit in here, and you do have to get it off. So gently, a couple taps, and it's away. And the reason we have to access this is because when we take this bumper off, the new tabs go in here. So they're gonna be stuck. Light tapping with a rubber mallet should get it done for you. Then you can clean out the corner of your intercooler as well, which is ugly.
All right, now that we've got everything removed, now we need to get in here and remove this bumper here, and we've got to remove this horn because we're gonna have to reroute this horn to put our bull bar in, and this piece of bumper cannot be there. It's going to be replaced as well. There are about 4 bolts to remove it and a few Torx screws. It looks to be a size 27H Torx screw.
Now we are doing it a little differently because we do have this aftermarket air intake. If you are still rocking the original intake, you may have to remove the intercooler altogether, which is not terrible, but it's going to take you a little bit more time. We're taking the easy route because we just had some trash in the front of the car anyway. I just wanted to point out that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and I think I know where BMW got their new grille design from now. It's really hard to show, but in order to get this clip off, and I'll show it to you here in more detail in a second, you do have to at least remove the bolts for the intercooler so that you can get behind it. And then we've got some video of it. I don't know how well you can see it, but ultimately what you have to do is get this clip off of here, and there's a wire retainer around here that you have to kind of bend back so that you can slide this off. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is how it's held on. And it's a finagling situation. You're gonna get this wire off of here, and then off comes the rubber piece. So hard to show. Hopefully we're able to convey what that looks like, but you do have to loosen that intercooler to do it. Okay, so we got it off, and it took some finagling. It's a lot harder on this side because there's some AC lines you have to work around, and it took Aaron pushing from the front while Rob pulled from the back to get the clip off. And what we were doing was removing this clip from these ears. And Rob, are the wires on this up or down?
They're down.
They're down. So this is the way it looks behind that bumper.
Actually looks like, yeah, like that. Yeah.
Looks like this, and so you've got to bend these wires out to get this clip off. And it does take some pressure from the front because there is no room to work. But now we've got the bumper off. We'll put our new bumper on and get started after we cut this support brace right here, right?
Right. We're also going to cut this tab off right here.
Okay.
That needs to come off. And I need to do some trimming right here. Because what we're going to do is we're actually going to have a bit of a gap here,
okay,
so that we can put the intercooler in, because it's not, it doesn't quite fit. The new bumper on there kind of is not quite a good fit. So we've got some brackets in the box. We just need to pull those out and start to
do a little bit of customization.
Yep, right.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to start on that part of it, but this is going to be one of the tougher parts of getting this off of here, is removing these clips from these ears. This is a Turbo S, and the Turbos have a lot more air dams going on, and this one we're gonna have to take off. We did a test fit of this bumper, and because of this winch plate, we have to remove this in order to get this bumper on here. So we're gonna take this off and see what it looks like This is just going to show up on your turbos rather than your normal V8s or V6s, so that won't be a problem, but we do have to take it off.
All right, so we're trying to fit this in here. It looks like it is going to fit in there nicely without any trimming right now that we can tell. So we're just getting the bolts slid in there, just finger tight, just positioning it. And you know, like contractors, you always want to measure twice and cut once. And it is important that we get this put in here. So obviously we got a few hands at play here, and it is important because the bumper is heavy. This thing weighs probably 70, 80 pounds. And with anytime you're doing something like this, it's going to take some tweaks. So that's what we're doing right now.
When you're doing this, you have to relocate the horn. So we're just taking one of the attachments for the shroud. We're just going to mount the horns right on that. So we're actually just wrapping up, putting back all the nuts and bolts. We've put in the intercooler bolts. We're about to put the intercooler scoops on. I don't know exactly what they're called.
Scoopy things.
The scoopy things. And after that, we're going to be putting on the top part of the bumper. Our last step is going to be to put this bottom part of the bumper on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take out these factory tow hook covers and cut right here to go around the bottom of that bumper. And then it'll look like this was built in Stuttgart. Let's get to it and finish this up. That is it put back together. We have to put the fender liners back in, but this is what it looks like when it's all done.
Yep, that's not going anywhere.
You know, one of the things that I want to point out to you when you do this, as you put all of this back together, you've got a lot of wiring and tubing behind it. Make sure that you're not binding that up between your bumper and your bumper cover, etc. We had some challenges trying to get everything fit back together because we had wiring in places that it wasn't supposed to be, tubing likewise, and it took a couple tweaks to get it all put together. But altogether, I would say not a bad job. If you've got two friends to help you out, if you're doing this alone, I'm going to advise you to make a couple friends because you're going to need them to do this job. There's a lot of muscle that goes with this as well.
Yeah, get it all arranged and fitted in there just right before you really go hard and get it locked in. Because once it's locked in, you got to take it all back apart to be able to put it back together.
So there's some fiddly bits with it, but overall not a bad job. What did it take us? A couple hours? We've been here 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours.
Right.
So, and I think it looks great. Our next step with this is going to be put some lights on it. This plate is set up for a winch, but we're not going to be putting a winch on it. And so that's pretty much the end of how to do the bumper.
All right, so that gets us one step closer to finishing our build so we can get this listed on Bring a Trailer.
100%. Please make sure that you subscribe and follow this whole process. If you've never put a car on Bring a Trailer, be interesting for you to see.
We're going to show you everything you need to know about getting a vehicle listed on Bring a Trailer and sold on Bring a Trailer, hopefully.
100%.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Come back and see us next time.